The timing is divine for real talent to shine, real stories to be told. Watch it all unfold. It's time to set the stage for greatness to be made. Time to prove that we can uplift and entertain. Shows that make you laugh and some that make you cry. News and information to help you find out why. Music, food, and fashion fills who you shows with divine inspiration. Honoraries in my HBCU. We got R&B divas, we got R&B kings, R&B live performers in a film called Broken Things. She speaks live, divas and cocktails, the brand new musical drama. It Girls Diary of a Diva is coming back all new. A short film, social conflict, producing curtains too. From the bottom up, Boulay Central, social conflict and D9 News. Yeah, subscribe and you'll see the power of Divine 9 TV. How it helps community rise up and shine. Owned by the culture, led by the divine. Let's rise up and shine on with Divine 9 TV.com. Owned by the culture, led by divine. Let's rise up and shine on with Divine. Oh,
Thank you, beautiful.
If you love me, if you trust me, if you want me, if you need me, 'cause actions speak louder than words, and I just don't say things that I've already heard. 'Cause actions speak louder than words, and I just don't say things that I've already heard. If you love me, if you trust me, if you want me, if you need me, if you love me.
What up, those sexy people? So I stepped outside to get a little bit of air. I'm in the process of doing some rewrites and some tweaking on our project It Girls, which is coming next year. I'm so proud of it. And I was just watching the news and I need to come out and just decompress. The Rob Reiner situation is like horrible. And it's interesting because so many people, especially around this time, the holidays, so many people have members of their families who deal with addiction, who deal with mental health challenges. And to hear that not only Rob Reiner, but another man, Grammy-winning opera singer, allegedly his son did the same thing. And it's so hard to process that we live in a world where people don't see the value in mental health and wellness resources, right, in our communities. Is crazy because it affects everybody. You know, you would think the way people don't acknowledge the need for mental health and wellness services, that it would only affect like certain communities, right? But it affects everybody, as we can see. When we look at all these incidents at these colleges and schools and what's happening with, you know, a lot of people who unfortunately have lost their lives to violence, that's all connected to mental health and challenges, right? It's not just bad people, although what they do is horrible. And yeah, you could classify some of them as evil and bad and crazy. But the crazy part I'm gonna take back, because I think we lay on that crazy word too much, and really what it is sick and people who need help. So not making excuses for that kind of behavior, but it made me think about it because one of the characters in the series who I'm really excited to share with you guys, her name is Winter. And Winter is a woman who's got it all together, at least on the inside. I'm sorry, on the outside. She's got it all together. She's stunning. She's wealthy. She is a founder of a technology company. But Winter has some very serious mental health issues, and we're going to be introduced to them in the very first time that you see her. You will realize. You're going to go from, damn, she fine. Wow, she's rich. Oh my, she's amazing, to, ooh, she got issues, right? And I think the reason this character is so important, I can't wait to reveal more about this project and the people who are attached to it. It is cast. The people are amazing. It is a musical. So get ready, get ready, get ready. Exclusively on divine9tv.com. But one thing I'll say about Winter is she represents so many people. She represents so many people in the world today who feel like they have to wear a mask. To borrow from my girl Shanti Das, that whole, being embarrassed and humiliated about mental health issues you may have. She has an organization called Silence of Shame. I love supporting her in any and every way. They actually awarded me a couple years ago a Healing Out Loud award, which I can really appreciate because at the end of the day, not being afraid to be real about the shit you're going through. I know sometimes people are like, oh my God, is it another rant? What's going on? But being able to release that, being able to share that, even if certain people laugh at you or point fingers or share your videos like, look at her, she crazy. The fact that you're getting it off your chest, the fact that you're letting someone publicly know that something is bothering you. Now, of course, that is not an excuse or a substitute for not getting professional help, right? Clinical, therapeutic, whatever. But it just really made me think as I'm watching all this stuff unfold. Baby, it's mental health issues, everywhere. Even some of the most wealthy and powerful, right? So I just encourage everybody, if you're going through something, especially during this holiday season, get the help that you need. We have a couple really amazing projects. I try to address the issue of mental health and wellness in everything we do. I'm writing a character that, social conflict. The young man who ended up bringing a weapon to school was actually on bipolar meds, right? So many. And not only that, like even in a lot of the series that I've worked on from the bottom up, it's no secret. A lot of people make decisions, whether it is addiction, alcoholism, whatever it is, based on something that's going on in here and here. So I'm not going to talk too long. I've already been talking too damn long as it is, but I just encourage everyone out there who may be struggling, especially during the holidays, to get some help because, everybody's struggling with something. And I can't wait for you guys to meet these characters in this new project, It Girls. And Winter is the journey that you're going to take with this character, I think is going to help save a lot of people the humiliation and embarrassment of not wanting to get help when they should. So stay tuned for It Girls. Go to divine9tv.com and register. And I want to say this real quick. I know, long-winded ass. This platform was created specifically so we could have these kinds of hard conversations that typically are shadow banned, that typically people are afraid. Literally, networks have told me that they have been afraid that my content doesn't have enough levity and is too serious and too dark. And I get it, but how much more serious and dark can you get than the events that have been happening in the world today? And I've been trying to get people to see the importance of almost regulatory, legislative support for content creators and networks to have some content on your platforms for people who are struggling and maybe they don't want to go see a doctor or talk to a family member or a friend, but maybe they'll just log on to divine9tv.com, see some of the content that we've been creating and see some of the stories and professional advice that we offer on our platform, and maybe it can help somebody. I know that what we did do is catch a predator or help catch a predator on From the Bottom Up series. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all all about that, but it's gonna happen on divine9tv.com streaming platform and Divine9TV YouTube. And of course, we still at Worth TV. So I love and appreciate y'all for supporting me. Happy holidays. I'm praying for everybody because we're all struggling with something. And hopefully the content that we create inspires one or two people. I know, like I said, we put a bastard away for 30 to 60 years, or at least we helped. Our content and someone seeing our content and asking about it saved herself and probably lots of others because he was a serial predator in that town for over 20 years. And From the Bottom Up, the series that I was lucky enough to produce with Queen Latifah and Shakim, BET. Thank you, Louis Carr. Thank you, James DeBose. Thank you, everybody, all the cast, all the crew, everybody who participated in this project. Because if we didn't do one thing, we helped save a community from a child predator. And that in and of itself is enough. So you'll be able to catch that and a bunch of other stuff on divine9tv.com. If you want to support our nonprofit, it is from the bottom up foundation.org. And you can see all 3 seasons of From the Bottom Up on divine9tv.com in addition to reunion specials and the new season. I mean, you know, we just doing what we got to do. Okay, guys. All right. And be sure to look for It Girls because, ooh, y'all gonna love every character. But in this moment, I just needed to talk about Winter because, yeah, I think she's gonna change the game, especially the conversation around mental health and wellness. All right, peace. Stay tuned for It Girls. Go to divine9tv.com and register. And I want to say this real quick. I know, long-winded ass. This platform was
always tell my ladies.
All right. The holiday blues is something that a lot of people are unfortunately going to suffer from this year. And I would like to know more, Dr. May, on what we can do to prevent. Can you explain to us exactly what it is and what we can do to prevent it?
Absolutely. I'm so excited to have this conversation, Nicci. And
welcome.
Ladies, listen, you guys are the best. Do you hear me? I'm loving this conversation. But I want to dive into this because it is so real. Because for so many of us, or for so many people, the holidays bring about excitement and festivity and joy. And it's very difficult for someone to admit that that also can bring times of distressing symptoms. And those distressing symptoms could be sadness, unexpected sadness, a lack of motivation. It can really be similar to clinical depression. It may not be as serious as clinical depression, but it can mirror those symptoms. And so it happens often when people do get overwhelmed with the demands of the holidays. So I want to help y'all understand a few things that trigger it and what you can do about it. Now listen, there are 3 things I have found, particularly with the women that I work with, that triggers holiday blues, okay? So the first one is, what I always tell my ladies is that you have to be careful about overextending yourself, okay? Can we go ahead and be careful about that? I always tell ladies this. Hear me, I want y'all to write this down. There is nothing selfish about self-care.
Okay. Can
y'all go ahead and write it down? There's nothing selfish about self-care. And what we have to understand is that we have to get a PhD in ourselves, okay? So for me, I'm what you call an ambivert. I'm an extroverted personality and introverted at the same time. So I know, as much as I love my family and I want to be around them, I got to squeeze out some time that I can just be by myself. So that I'm not overextended. Another trigger is when we have unrealistic expectations, okay? Some of us are trying to do the holidays as good as our mama did it. She had the table laid out. She made sure everybody was straight. You might not be able to do it as good as mama did. So I want you to be careful about your expectations. Let me break that down to you. When we have certain expectations, now this is with every area of your life, not just holidays, but when you have these expectations, then you have your experience. When those 2 things don't match, this big gap occurs. And in that gap, that's when those feelings come up, sadness, frustration, maybe even anger. So you gotta be careful. You have to be careful about the expectations you have on yourself during the holidays.
That's so good.
All right.
I want to ask something. First of all, Robin, thank you for being here, and that PhD in ourselves thing, I'm putting that in my phone, writing it down. I want to ask you a question because I have a friend of mine, and you talking about the holiday blues, really how best to include them. Her holiday blues, like we talked about overextending, but also for her, it's tough because she says it's a reminder of what used to be. So now her dad has passed, her mom has Alzheimer's, and she feels like she's forced. Holidays are forced down her throat. Everywhere she goes is this, and that people don't understand why she's not festive and wants to be a part. And when she explained it to me, I said, wow. And so of course I asked her, what could I do? But I think that's a question for a lot of people. What holidays were for us as a child aren't the same, or younger, when once we get older, especially after we lose our loved ones. How best do we include somebody who may be at a different life phase when it comes to holidays and holiday depression, and they don't want to be festive? How do we,
that's that coping with grief.
How do we cope? How do we extend ourselves to them to help them cope better during the holidays?
Okay, so a couple of things. So you loved the PhD in yourself, and if you get that, one of my sayings is this: freed women free women. So when you get free in a certain area, you need to go get a sister free, right? And so what I would encourage you to do is help her have the courage to be honest about what she needs in the moment.
That's good.
To give her the courage to be able to say what she needs in the moment. So that's the first thing. Help her get the voice to articulate what she needs, okay? Then the second thing that I would encourage her to do is to come up with her set response. Now, y'all know if you've ever had a conversation, you're preparing to have a conversation with your man or with your boss. All of us, we practice what we're going to say before we say it. Right? You have the whole conversation already. So I would help her to practice what her response is going to be when people are coming to her, wanting her to respond in a certain way. Go ahead and have your practice response that you give right away. Another way to navigate holidays when you're dealing with grief is this. You have to find your anchor. You want to help her find her anchor. What is the thing that centers her? That's different for all of us. What centers me is having some hot coffee with a really good book and being still. For somebody else, it might be going to exercise. I wish that was mine. You gotta find that thing that centers you. And here's the last suggestion I have when it comes to dealing with grief in the midst of holidays. Really helping them find a simple way, again, that works for them to honor what they have lost.
Many of you are aware, Dr. Robin, I lost my mother on June 3rd. I lost my father on September 6th.
That's a lot, And
it's definitely going to be an interesting holiday season.
Subscribe and you'll see the power of Divine 9 TV, how it helps community rise up and shine.